Hello and welcome to Bloom and Beyond. I'm your host, Courtney, and today's episode is titled The Power of Lifelong Connection. I want to talk about something that filled my cup in a way that I didn't even know that I needed. It's about friendship. More specifically, it's about those old, meaningful connections that somehow stand the test of time, even when life gets busy, messy, and a little complicated. Sometimes the best kind of healing comes from a conversation with someone who knew you before you were who you are now. I've mentioned my oldest and best friend before, and thankfully, I still have other wonderful and supportive women in my life too. Some I've not spoken to much over the years, and it's not because I didn't want to connect, but because life gets busy and we don't always make the time to prioritize these connections, especially if you live 1,000 miles away from each other. I recently had an almost 4-hour conversation with a woman I met 38 years ago. We sat next to each other in French class in college. She was a freshman and I was a junior. I knew from the moment that I met her that she was someone special. I encouraged her to go through Rush, and she joined my sorority, and I became her sorority mom. College was full of fun and making memories, and the years following college, we were bridesmaids in each other's weddings. But then life happens, and we've kept in touch through the years, though not constantly. There were marriages, kids, divorces, careers, and all the beautiful and hard things in between. The magic of social media allows you to communicate with someone through likes and comments on posts, so technically we can communicate quite often. However, talking is a different story. She texted me saying that we needed to catch up, so we made a date for a phone call. It's crazy that we have to make a date to talk, but as most of you know, our lives are so busy, and sometimes we need to make sure that we set aside time to do these types of things. It's been a very long time since we had actually talked, but when we spoke, it was like no time had passed. It wasn't small talk, it was soul talk. We shared laughter and then a lot of I get it and I totally understand moments. Though I'm not going to divulge our private conversation, I'll share that it turns out that we've walked some very similar paths when it comes to relationships, heartbreak, motherhood, dating after divorce, and just navigating life as sensitive, empathetic women. And here's what struck me the most. That conversation gave me life. It reminded me that connection, real, raw, honest connection, is medicine. Sometimes the exact support that you need isn't a new book, a course, or even therapy. Sometimes it's a familiar voice from the past who sees you, hears you, and makes you feel like you're not alone. In midlife, we're often so focused on what's ahead: health, careers, caring for others, figuring out what's next. But sometimes the most powerful move is to look back with gratitude for the people who are part of your story and who still are. The conversation with my dear friend Angela was exactly what I needed, and it completely filled my heart. So here's my gentle nudge to you. Is there someone that you haven't talked to in a while? Someone who made you feel seen and understood in a way that few people do? Maybe it's time to send that text, make that call, or meet for coffee. You don't have to pick up where you left off, but revisiting that bond might be the very thing that your heart needs right now. Old friendships carry a kind of knowing that's hard to replicate. They remind you of who you were, celebrate who you are, and make space for who you're still becoming. And that is a beautiful kind of magic. If this episode sparks someone's name in your heart, don't let that feeling pass. Reach out, reconnect, even if it's been years, and especially if it's been years. Because sometimes the soul just needs to remember it's not walking alone. Until next time, always hold space for the people who hold you up and make you feel the most like you. Thanks, Angela.